This is a very simple quadcopter. It has 4 Kita motors, 9-inch blades, flash DSCs, although I'm not sure that was worth the effort. I did upgrade this a little bit from the standard, and I did more room to stuff stuff in. I wanted to keep everything tight around a central axis so I didn't have a lot of problems. I use this to maneuver into some places which is kind of tricky sometimes, and I need to have control, and I found that this particular configuration is very responsive. But I use it as a truck. I have modified this, and I've placed my GPS tattletale, the information module, where I can see it from about 180 degrees. It's much more visible here than stuck on an arm. And so is the receiver. This is my flight receiver. And the alternate flight receiver as well. I've got them tucked away in places where they're safe in case there's a crash. And trust me, you're going to crash. You have 4 motors, you have 4 ESCs, you have lots of solder joints, you have batteries, you have issues. You're going to crash. So learn to fly with the cheap propellers and then I found that it's a pretty good idea to get your transmitting electronics as far as you can away from the from all the other electronics on the bird. So I've made a tail upon which I can put a 5.8 transmitter, or if I'm going to be flying in a forest with a particularly heavy cover, I can put my 1.3 transmitter here, Velcro it on, keeps it away from the props, and most importantly away from the GPS and away from the rest of the electronics. And when I say this is a truck, I basically use this to carry around this, which is an X-Pro heli piece. But I was flying over water, and I'm terrified about not being able to get that, because I put whatever GoPro or other camera I'm using here, and with the Witespy mounted as a truck on these foam pads with some loose Velcro. This basically just carries us along and doesn't transmit a lot of vibrations from here to the camera. And most of the time I'm taking stills anyway, so I don't care about jello. But I do care about losing it when I'm flying over water, so that's something. And now, the other one I got into is this beast, which is an HT-FPV. This is mainly designed for people who want to do video, I believe. This has about 60 flights on it. It's been at least 4 major crashes, one of them from some severe altitude. So I've had some chance to sort it out and play with it, and these are my thoughts as I go through what I've done to mine. The first thing is I could not get it to run correctly. My GPS would not lock up, and especially the OSD, if the GoPro was running. If the GoPro was not running, I had no problems. So I had to build basically a small, I guess you'd call it a Faraday cage. So I took my TBS, this is a box that they sell for the Zephyr wing, and it happens to be an excellent holder for both your flight camera. This is a 600 line high-def flight camera, CCD, and so I lined my GoPro box with copper. This is copper foil I brought from an industrial supply. It seems to have ended my problems, and now my GPS maintains its lock. So this box actually is incredibly strong, weighs nothing, and is made out of laminated plywood, very, very light plywood. It's incredibly strong. If you look, the back is dented because this took a full-speed header straight into the ground. The GoPro survived perfect. The box survived perfect. These little cutouts protected the GoPro. This protected, because this is there's some foam behind there to protect that. So my flight camera came out perfect. And unfortunately, the front little piece on my HT-FPV frame snapped off. That's a weakness. Look out, you're going to break yours off sooner or later. So I fabricated a piece of aluminum here and made a step that is incredibly bolt right studs, and it's incredibly strong, and it has survived a couple crashes already without a problem. Couple things I did. It's very hard to see the NASA information module. If you mount it on an arm and you don't have the right attitude, you can't see it. So I posted it on the corner here on a little tab I made out of aluminum, and that seems, now I have visibility from almost 180 degrees. The battery, this is a very good, I bent little piece of aluminum and I've made a backstop here. And I did that because I wanted to protect my flight controller. Most importantly, all of your flight control leads are where the battery runs into it when you do the header into the ground, and the battery is propelled straight into your controller and mashes these up. So being a newbie, I built myself a crash bar here, and this absolutely protects the battery from it. And interestingly enough, I placed it exactly at the CG, and I have a little hook that I put there, and I picked this up, and that's how I find out whether I'm high or low or right or left. I try and keep, especially these have a tendency to pitch a lot, so you have to be careful with your fore-aft loading. I built a platform here for the same reason. I wanted to have a place to put my 1.3 and my 5.8 as far from the electronics as I could, so I just bent up a little piece of aluminum and put it there. I also bent some aluminum up and made a better place to put my my alternate flight receiver, because and this is also below the crash. When you crash, these are going to be protected if you put this upper bar on. And then this is what I do to fly it. I put these LED lights on the aft quarter, because I know no matter how far away this is, if I can, and I'm colorblind, so the only lights I can see are blue. And these are really bright, and I put a lot of them, as many as I could, which is why I had to move the controller. But basically, if I can see the aft end of that, I can get that copter back to me, almost like you're using the home lock, only I use it visually. And not a intuitive pilot. This is a tractor that I use to fly places, but if you're in trouble, or when I'm flying at night, I can do amazing things so long as I can see this aft quarter for visual orientation. Then I have, this is where I put my OSD, and that's pretty much it. The landing gear, I think they're coming off, but it looks nice, and they'll save you a couple of times. So that's a comparison of two very popular quadcopters, an HT-FPV and a 450 Witespy quad. Hope you enjoyed it, and I enjoy flying the hell out of these.